survivor.
Is there an unmotivated patient, a stroke survivor?
Oh, heaps.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, that's interesting because I coach some stroke survivors and sometimes I coach their caregivers in conjunction with the stroke survivors. And I feel that some of it is related to, and when I coach people, they think that I'm coaching them to get through stroke, but really what you're coaching people to do is get through all their limiting beliefs that they've always had in their entire life that are now a real problem because they have a condition that needs a different kind of focus. And sometimes I also find that stroke survivors are unmotivated because the people around them make them unmotivated, because they could be surrounded by individuals who would say, oh, why do you want to go to speech therapy? And there's a lot of ill-conceived ideas about the fact that possibly all stroke survivors would want to approach recovery like I do. Not many do, because I might try and motivate, because identity plays a really massive role. So, for example, the first thing that I tell my stroke survivors who I coach to do when they are healing from a brain injury like stroke is stop eating sugar. Okay, so I've nearly died. They've had to open my head up to take a blood vessel out so that I can survive.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of thousands of dollars that's gone into that process. And I don't know the untold millions of dollars that has made it possible for a doctor to put me on a table, put me to sleep and open my head. And when they close my head, I'm still alive at the end of it. Right. And then somebody says to me, what you should do is quit sugar to help decrease inflammation in your brain and in your body. And the inflammation, as it decreases, will improve your capacity to recover, heal. It will decrease the level of fatigue that you're experiencing, etc. And when I say to them, quit sugar, they'll come back to me with 1,000 reasons why they shouldn't, including you only live once, including, but I'm a sweet tooth. But how am I going to go to the coffee shop with my friends? I won't be able to eat cake. What am I going to do there? So
there's so many psychosocial barriers, constraints that people go through.
Yeah, and alcohol is one of those massive issues. So when I quit alcohol, all my friendship group, and I quit alcohol basically the day that I had the first brain hemorrhage, but all my friendship group said, well, we're going to go to the pub for a drink. And I'm like, yeah, we'll go. When we get there, it's, what are you having? I'm having water. Or water? It's like, I'm going to have a beer. Is that all right? I was like, guys, you do what you do and I'll do what I do. And we don't have to do the same thing. And you don't have to feel uncomfortable with me not drinking alcohol. If I drink alcohol, I feel like I'm having another stroke. Why the hell would I drink alcohol?
Yeah.
And you see,
these are the kinds of lifestyle changes and, psychosocial sort of beliefs that you just have to work through so much, even after the stroke, right? Not just before.
Yeah, it's the biggest part of my recovery is changing my identity and fighting the battles so that I could implement my new identity and nobody else was feeling bad about the fact that I had a new identity. But that meant that I lost friends. So if you're going to have a stroke survivor who can't speak and is going through all these challenges and they lose friends because they're different, or because their friends can't associate with them the right way, or their friends are emotionally naive and don't have the capacity to have empathy for their friend and support their friend, it makes such a massive problem. And what that could do for the stroke survivor is not make them unmotivated because they chose to be unmotivated, but through social isolation, depression, and mental health issues, they could go, you know what, life's over for me. I'm not going down this path. And they come to they come to a therapist for aphasia because insurance is paying for therapy. And then what do? They just get there with, there's no hope for me anyway. So I'm just going to go through the motions for my family. And then once the plateau is reached and they tell me I don't have to come here anymore, I won't come here anymore.